Good morning, Jamie Taylor. Good morning, MM. I haven't seen you in a while, MM. Good morning. I'm just sitting here by my new little faux fireplace, enjoying it while I'm getting ready for the morning, and I am trying to get my Gemini Tarot scope to upload. It did not upload yesterday. I don't know what is going on, so I'm waiting patiently right now. I'm in the middle of getting it uploaded, and I am trying to allow it time to upload from my phone to YouTube so that it's secure and on YouTube so it can be released with the rest of the videos. So I'm hoping that that happens. Oh, thank you. Isn't it nice? It actually throws heat and it just makes me feel super cozy. So I brought it in yesterday for winter, and it kind of makes the office, I don't know, like I just want to be in here more. And then I moved, as you can see on top of it, I moved some crystals over to it and sort of moved the bookshelf over. So it's underneath the painting of Raphael, Archangel Raphael. So it's just kind of, setting my space a little bit more, creating a space where I want to be, and I feel it'll get blocked by the wood block when I put that up to do the reading in a moment, but I'm just waiting for more people to join us, waiting for Ducky to get here. I haven't messaged Ducky this morning, I'm just kind of signing on. I'm really trying to get this Gemini video uploaded. Thank you, Jamie. I think it's nice too, I kind of like it. And it just creates a little bit of sweet ambiance. It was kind of cool meditating in here last night, and I just had it on, throwing light and heat, and it was just nice. Because it's starting to definitely cool down. Definitely. So, couple of house things while you guys are tuning in. You can always follow me at Engelgeist333 on Instagram. That's new. Please, if you don't belong to the Facebook group, follow the Engelgeist link that I'm putting in right now into the chat. And you can join the Facebook group and vote for November's deck that you want to see used in the mornings. We'll be working with a different deck starting November 1st, and there's 4 different decks. Hey Marita, how are you? Good morning. That's actually Raphael. The painting is Raphael. I'll show it to you one more time. I have a Michael painting and a Gabriel painting in the living room. They all look very similar, but they're by the similar artist. I got them in Mexico, in Mexico. And then that little statue there is Gabriel in front of you that you're looking at. So I'm just sort of waking up, not waking up, I've been up for a little while, but I'm trying to get this Gemini video uploaded. It's driving me nuts. I think this is the beginning of the Mercury retrograde starting. Not that I blame everything on the planets, but generally when it's technology based and we've got a Mercury retrograde starting on the 31st, I kind of go, something's up. So I'm hoping, while I'm sitting here patiently waiting, I want to get this Gemini video uploaded to YouTube, and then I will start the broadcast. So, that's what I'm working on. It says a few minutes remaining, so. But those of you that don't know, please vote for the November deck beauty pageant. They're all beautiful decks. They're all deserving winners, all by great artists. I'm excited to work with all of the decks. They will be the deck that we do the morning forecast for in November. It gives you guys as the viewers a little say in what happens on the channel. It also gives you guys a little access to seeing other decks in case you're interested in working with different decks. I did in the group post a posting that has all the direct links to the unboxing videos for each of the decks so that you guys can look at those decks a little bit more closely. And if I haven't said deck enough times this morning, well then you can just deck me. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. This is like the Yule log on TV20. Do you remember that, Marita? Were you in the Bay Area for that back when I was a kid? That strange ass channel where they showed the Yule log all day Christmas Eve, where it was on TV. It was like a picture of a fireplace. So for those that were broke who didn't have a fireplace, they could turn on their TV and pretend like they had one. Good morning, Kelly Kemp. You're up early. My California girls, you girls are up early. Like, it's 6:30 in the morning. I'm not doing card pulls this morning. I'm not. I'm just gonna do the daily. I gotta get to church. I gotta work on my relationship with God, girl. But I would be interested if you want to message me at the business page. We could set something up from there. Do you like it, Kristen? Good morning. Welcome to my fireplace. Happy winter. My faux fireplace. But I am. It's coming together. So come join me by the fire, Kristen. Come gather around the fire. Let's get cozy for this Sunday morning, the 27th of October. You guys are in Alaska, Kelly? For those of you on YouTube that can't see, Kelly Kemp just said she's on their honeymoon in Alaska. So what time is it there? Oh, you guys have to be getting cozy up in Alaska. It's probably cold. I'd imagine, because it's cold here, and I'm in Texas, of all places, so it must be cold up in Alaska. I am going to get started in just a moment. I know Ducky was up crafting with Angel and Michaela and Tammy last night, so they were busy all night. I talked to Ducky late last night, so she may not even be awake yet. But I wanted to get on early so that I could maybe make it into the shower and get to church. You guys are definitely early birds. What time is it there? Kelly Kemp says my husband and I are early birds. That's kind of cool that you guys are both like that versus opposite. Must make for an easier time of things. Because if you're not a morning person and somebody is, oof, there's a lot of silence happening every morning until that non-morning person comes together and gets it. The Fireplace Channel. Totally. You remember it, Kelly. You were there in the Bay Area. I lived for the Fireplace Channel. Me and my friend, my friend from high school, Shayna, we used to get super stoned and watch it. We thought it was the coolest thing ever. We would laugh at it. Good morning, Ducky. Did someone say Cozy? Ducky's middle name is Cozy. Hi, Christy Terry. Good morning and welcome to the group. You're new to us. We're doing the daily forecast today. Actually, today's Sunday, so it's the weekly forecast. Good morning, Abby Drum. Welcome. Come have a seat by the fire. It's a fake fire, by the way. So keep your marshmallows to yourself, girls. Hold on, I'm trying to see if this Gemini video will upload. Please tell me it will upload. I've been having troubles with uploading to YouTube this week. I'm trying to shoot these taroscopes for November 1st. And Gemini has a good one. Okay, now it says processing, so keep your fingers crossed, guys. Send me all of your good energy. I'm trying to get this Gemini video up so I can shoot Cancer. And it's like, good morning, Carolyn. How are you? How are you? How are you? If y'all could share this video out too, I can't really. I'm still in Facebook jail. I think I'm allowed to be out of jail today, but I'm not sure at what time. I think it's at 8 o'clock something, which is 8:30 my time. But I'm going to try and, since I'm making you guys wait and look at this fireplace, I'm going to try and get this video uploaded and then get the video, get everything started for us to get the weekly forecast. Thank you, Marita. Thank you for sharing. You're a Leo. Christy, Ducky is a Leo. Oh, and by the way, Ducky, that Peruvian guy that I told you I was talking to, he's a Leo too, just so you know. That Peruvian guy I be chatting up, you know how it is. Come on, Gemini, come on through. Are you guys enjoying the fireplace? I kind of think it's peaceful, and so I was just sort of letting you guys arrive. I'm in Facebook jail. Thank you, Rose. Rose says, love it. I'm in Facebook jail because, Caroline, you're a Leo too. There's a lot of Leo energy around me. It's good. I like it. It keeps me buoyant and uplifted. What was I going to say? I shared to groups the other day, but I shared really quickly in a different way that made it much more faster. But in doing so, from my personal page, I ended up landing in jail because I think they thought I was spamming groups. So, you can always check out Christy. I have tarot up for Leo. I feel like last month's was a good tarot though, for the Leos. I thought that things were improving. I haven't done the sign of Leo yet for November. I will do it in the next day or two, barring that. It always stops at 95%. It did this with Aries too. What is going on? It took Taurus, no problem. Come on, angels, put it through. I don't want to reshoot it. And Gemini's was a good read. I'm going to switch the Are you guys enjoying the fireplace for a moment? The fire might be speaking to you, Kelly. You might see images in it. You might see messages or hear messages. I feel like it's super calming. That's why I've turned it on. Just to start everything off. Trying to get this Gemini video to kick in. I'm sorry it's been bad for you, Christy. And you know, I'm going to say this too. Some of it has to do with your placement of what other planets where your planets are in what signs. So you might be a Leo, but you might have, other things in other, like your moon might be in a different sign, or your Mars, your Mercury. So all of that stuff, and it depends on which houses and all of that stuff, which I'm not fully versed in all of that. I know a little bit, but like I'm kind of like the hodgepodge astrologer. I know a little bit here and there, but not a whole lot. Hey, Margaret Patterson, good morning. I'm glad you caught us live. That's Margaret Patterson over on YouTube. I'm glad you were able to tune in live. I'm just letting people fill in for a bit. Jupiter has actually gone direct, Kirsty, I should pronounce that correctly. Jupiter was retrograde, so that might have been part of the bad stuff that you were experiencing. We did just go through a period where we had 5 planets that were retrograde. I believe it was Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter. Well, I know that we went through a Mercury retrograde just a few months ago, and maybe one other. I can't remember. But there was a lot of planets that were retrograde recently. And they all have started to go back direct, but now we're heading back into another Mercury retrograde at the end of the month. Which, to me, is not a big deal. I don't really freak out about Mercury retrogrades. I just sort of keep my energy as calm as possible and roll with it and expect the worst, and then I'm always pleasantly surprised when the month goes by and not, it's maybe just a communication problem or whatever. Why is this video not loading? This is making me sad. Come on, YouTube. It's like holding it, processing 95%, like it's so close. Buddha's here. Buddha's right here. He's here at the table with us. He's no messing around. Buddha is a key. Rose over on Facebook says, "Where's Buddha? I miss Buddha." Buddha's right here. Just to give you a little idea, his presence is with us. And then, do you all remember her? While I'm waiting for this video to process, it's Lydia! She sits on the corner of the desk overlooking everything. Alright, well, I can't wait for this video any longer. I wish it would go through. My angels will do something. I had to attempt Aries like 16 times yesterday. Or whatever day I started, and Aries would not go through no matter what, and then finally all of a sudden it just popped through. So the same thing might happen with Gemini. The only problem is I don't like to shoot them. I like them to go up in order. So they go up on the wall in order, but that's just my ADD. You saw him during this tour. Caroline, I am in Texas. I'm outside of Dallas. About an hour, 15 minutes southeast of Dallas. Alright, let's get started today. I'm going to switch the cameras around and take y'all away from the fireplace. You know the fireplace is there though, so you can just continue to pretend to stay warm by it. My name's Dan, this is Engelgeist. Thank you for tuning into the channel. I'm still in my pajamas because I need to get in the shower and go to church. And I need this Gemini video to upload, but we'll see. You know, Geminis, they're always running in two different directions. It's like having a set of twin babies, right? What can you do? It was a good video though. I really want to get it out there because it's like the ending of a cycle for Gemini, and I feel like, and there's some really good stuff coming for Gemini. Did it go through? Did it go through? Oh, it went through! Yay! Okay, cool. All right, so Gemini, I think it's in there. I hope it's in there, but I think it went through. Good. So now I can get on to the Cancers this afternoon. All right, so let's get to today's forecast. Around here, for those of you that are new, we do breathing exercises, the 3 breaths. And the concept is we breathe in through our nose, deep into the belly, right? Deep, deep into the belly, deeper than we ever have, right? Or at least that's the intention. We go deep into the belly, we hold that breath for a moment, and we allow that air, that oxygen to sort of permeate our bloodstream, permeate our brain, wake us up a little bit, bringing us into the present moment, bringing our attention to our body, right? And as we're doing that, I've started this exercise where we start to emanate a light from wherever. It can come from your heart chakra, that's where my light comes from, but your light can come from wherever you want it to emanate from. There's information in this, is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Like if it emanates from, like, say, your left shoulder, it's fine. Let it emanate from there. Maybe your spirit or your body or your mind is trying to pull your attention there. But just start to emanate that light and know that that light is intrinsically you, your spirit, your soul. Okay? And only emanate it as much as it feels comfortable to you, right? So some of us, this is not a society where we're taught to like be all bright and shiny, or we get in trouble. You know, we get knocked back, knocked down. It shouldn't be that way, I believe, or it could be different, ideally. The more of us that practice shining our light and consciously do it, maybe the more we liberate others to practice consciously shining their light, right? So the idea is we start to emanate that light on the first breath. As we're inhaling new, fresh, positive energy, we're exhaling old, stale, outdated information, energy, things that no longer belong to us, things we no longer want. We just intend for that. We don't have to get too particular about it. And we emanate that light. On the exhale, try and be thankful first for the most dense vibration of your body, which is your body. That's the most dense vibration we possess here. And then second breath in, hold, emanate, release. Be thankful for the mind, which is the next highest vibration. That's where we're creating from with thoughts and energy, right? And then the third breath in, hold, emanate even further. Sometimes we can go past our body out into our auric field and shine in our bubble, in our energy bubble. That's totally fine. If you feel comfortable doing that, go right ahead. You're in a safe space, you're in your home, or wherever you're watching, you are safe to do that. Do whatever feels comfortable to you. As you do that, be thankful for the soul or the spirit, right? That's the highest vibration that we have. And as we're doing this, kind of the intention is as we're acknowledging these components of ourselves, we're sort of raising our vibration up and bringing the 3 of them together as one, right? So what I tend to look at as I'm doing the emanation and I'm letting it spread throughout my body, it's a very peaceful feeling for me. Okay, I don't know, it might be different for you. For some of you, it may even be an uncomfortable feeling because it might be new. Or for some of you, it might be a very familiar feeling and it's who you are. And so you're like, oh, I do this all the time. It's just the discovery of that information for each individual and how you go about discovering that information. There's a ton of information in the body, the mind, and the spirit that we can access, you know. So that's what we do here in the morning. It's also to bring us into the present moment so that we can hear the broadcast or the forecast for the week. This is the underpinning energy of the week. This is a broad spectrum forecast, so it's for everybody who watches, but the intention is it is for everybody that watches and also those that tune in at any point in time in the future. Pretty big task, eh? But, I sounded Canadian there, but I trust that spirit or the angels know how to do that and make it in such a way that those that need to find this video when they need to find it will. Okay? So we don't need to worry about any of that. All we need to do is take our breaths, put our focus on ourselves, bring ourselves into the present moment. Another practice that's happened with this breathing practice is you can also see by the second breath or so, as you're emanating that light and you're becoming more comfortable doing this work, you can sort of line up your chakras. Notice if any of them are bigger or larger, blown up or made smaller than they need to be, and sort of adjust them to whatever you feel is comfortable and appropriate for right now in the present moment where you're at, in your home or wherever. Pop some of them, sometimes some pop backwards or forwards, and you just sort of envision or know, even without much effort, know that they are like lining up, right? And that's it. And then we will open our eyes and start the forecast. Okay, so if you want to close your eyes, set your feet firmly on the ground, get comfortable. I sometimes touch my body just to bring my attention back to my body. And let's take in that first breath and remember to hold at the top of the breath, inhaling positive, new, fresh energy for the day. Hold it and emanate that light. And release, giving gratitude and thanks to the body, the beautiful vehicle that it is, for all the gifts that it gives us, all the help and assistance that it gives us going through this three-dimensional plane. Let's take in that second breath and hold, emanate that light, let that light go wherever it needs to. Line up, picture those chakras easily lining up, just coming together and settling where they need to at the sort of rate that they need to settle at. That feels nice. Okay, let's release. Being thankful to the mind for the beautiful gift that it is, for the supercomputer that's really, we don't even know half of what it can do, right? So we really need to pay homage to it and say hello and thank you to it and be in gratitude for it, even if it gives us trouble and doubt and worry. You know, sometimes that's the ego in there trying to keep us safe, and it's doing its best job of trying to keep us safe. We gotta, let the ego know that we are safe in the body that we have, right? Let's take in that third breath, deep into the belly. Hold. Align any chakras or any fine tuning. Right now, if you were paying attention, you can find your pyramid and see how your pyramid is balancing. Emanate that light out. And release, letting it all go. Bringing you into present time right now so that we can all enjoy this moment together. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome to Sunday morning, the 27th of October, 2019, guys. Good morning, Lisa Vanderhelm. Good morning, Nate. Okay, it's a legal high. Yes, Rose, it is totally a legal high, my dear. You're allowed. No, nobody's gonna come busting through the door. Well, maybe Spirit might come busting through the doors, but all right. Let me ask Spirit for the 3 cards that we need for the underpinning of the energy of the collective for this week, starting October 27th through. Wow, it's gonna go through the 2nd of November. We're already in November, guys. We're also gonna do a deck switch in the middle of this, so that'll be interesting. Please vote in the Engelgeist group and the poll, and go watch the unboxing videos for the last 4 unboxings to see which decks are available. Those are the 4 that are up for nomination. All well-deserving, all made by creative and beautiful artists. All those artists can be found on Instagram. I gave all that information, I believe, in yesterday's video. So if you're interested, you can check out the descriptions of those videos or check out yesterday's forecast. And I think I give everybody's Instagram information there. And some of those artists are very accessible and very willing to say hello and chit chat. They're kind of cool. It's been very cool. One of them is actually a member of the Engelgeist group. So she joined the group. I think that's cool. She watches all the way from New Zealand. So let's see what our 3 cards are for this week. Yeah, it is unbelievable that November is coming already, Kirsty. It is. It's crazy. But it's okay. This is a time of slowing down. I'm really feeling it. I mean, hence the fireplace, but it is a time to slow down and kind of contemplate, go inward, and we definitely got a clear message of that like 2 charm sessions ago when I did a live charm video. We did a group reading, and it was a very clear message about the balancing of masculine and feminine energy, and the finding the seat of one's power during this winter. For those of us that tuned in, and for anybody, like I said, every video is intended for those that tune in the moment, and also whoever finds it afterwards. So if you find that and see that, that reading is also maybe for you. So I'm going to switch back to the fireplace. We're not going to be able to see the fireplace quite as much because the wood block is up, but we are going to look at the energy of this week. So here we go. The first card. Let me just slide this over just a little bit here. We have the Hound. And we are working with the Witchword Oracle deck. This is the Witch's Oracle, which I thought would be fitting for the last 10 days of October because we are coming up on Halloween. And so we have been working with these decks. The unboxing videos I've been adding to the end of the videos so that you can see all 4 of the Witchwood Oracle decks that I had purchased that we used throughout the month of October. So you can check out that video. They're all unboxed together in one video. So this makes me feel like, first off, I feel like some of you are going to be racing into this week. I don't know why. I think it's because of the Hound aspect of it. Is this this racing factor? You know, I think of Racing Hound. I don't know if we're going to hit the ground running come Monday, but to me it feels like we might be trying to do things a little bit, not necessarily faster than we need to, but we're going to want to have a speed with which that we're moving into this week with. I also feel like there's a thing about loyalty. When I think of dogs especially, I think about loyalty and being loyal, and I wonder where our loyalty best suits us this week. If it's to ourselves or is it to another? Are there going to be situations that call upon our loyalty and our friendship? Are we going to be dealing with situations that maybe require us to be quick thinking, quick moving, and potentially loyal to a situation or maybe even our own selves, and calling out, sniffing out like the Hound might do, right? Sniffing out sort of maybe situations that we don't necessarily need to be a part of anymore, or that we do want to be a part of. Opportunities. Maybe this is the idea of sniffing out the opportunities that could be available to us this week. But whatever it is, I feel like we're going to move into this week sort of with a little bit more energy, I think. I'm definitely getting this sense of speed or swiftness with this card. So I think that the early part of this week, maybe the first couple of days, for some of you this week might fly by and you might hound your way all the way through the week. But for those of you, each card represents like a couple of days of the week. So for the first 2 or 3 days, you might find yourself having a little extra energy, a little extra oomph, a little extra, you know, I don't know, ESP in a way, or sensory, you know, how dogs, their ears, their nose, their scent, all of that is very heightened. And so they're also very good judges of character. And so I believe so. And so I feel like this could be us doing that in the early part of the week. Who are we loyal to? What situations do we need to be loyal to? What do we give our attention and our energy to? And being really like aware of that and energized sort of towards that and by that, if that makes sense. Now, the midweek card is the Rope. These are all new cards to us. This is cool. We're getting to see these cards for the first time. So the Rope, to me, as I look at this, I get 2 different directions on this card right out of the gate. I think that there's going to be, again, a split viewership down the middle, if this makes sense. what I'm going to say about this rope card is I feel like some of us are going to secure ourselves to these situations that we feel as though we need to be loyal to. And some of us are going to be tied to them, even though we may want to get away. Does that make sense? So this rope is really about, in my perception, as I'm looking at the hound, the way that this rope is, my intuition or my guides are telling me that the way that this rope interacts with this hound this week is that as we go forward into the week, maybe quickly, and we're sensing sort of what's going on around us, what deserves our loyalty, what deserves our attention, where do we need to be and how do we need to be within these situations, we could be tethering ourselves to these situations in ways that we're not understanding. Some consciously, yes, and securing ourselves, right? If we're picking the right situations. I don't want you guys to think that there's a right or wrong idea in this, but what I am saying is that if we choose the situations that we feel are truly beneficial to us, and we have within the hound the extrasensory perception, right, to understand intrinsically what is right and good and giving back to us, if we do that, this rope allows us to sort of secure ourselves to those situations and be able to give the loyalty, the love, and the sort of attention that comes with this card, right? There are some of you, though, I am going to say this. I do feel that there is a little bit of a stickiness to this rope for some of you, where some of you might feel as though you're still stuck giving certain situations your attention because you might feel obligation, or you can't walk away just yet. It has that sort of a feel because I am feeling like this looks a little bit noose-like in a way, and I'm not saying you're hanging yourself, but it does say to me that some of you, it really is sort of a perception thing of being very aware of where your loyalties lie this week and why. Are you staying, like, I'm going to just use this as an example, okay? Are you staying in say a situation or maybe a relationship because it's familial and you feel it obligated to, but yet it's sort of making you feel tied or limited? Are you staying in a relationship because you receive love and affection and you're taken care of? Well, then you are going to sort of secure that and sort of tie that knot to that situation, like tether yourself to that situation. The funny thing is I also think of a dog. You know, out here in Texas, they tether dogs out in the yard on these long ass chains or ropes, and I hate it because they're just basically like poor man's alarm systems. But to me, this feels like this could go either way for you guys this week, so just be aware of that. Be conscious that what the hound is pointing out to us is the hound is like, okay, let's sniff out the situations. Let's figure out what is it that's deserving of our loyalty or our attention, and then secure ourselves to it. Now, some of you may not feel as though you can disassociate yourself from some of these situations, because I feel like some of you, whether you're watching right now or tuning in later, there's definite hit that there's some of you that are tied to situations that are familial based that you don't feel you can separate from out of loyalty. And that's okay. Okay? That is totally okay. You're not sort of shooting yourself in the foot or harming yourself in any way. I want you to understand that. This rope just feels like you're getting maybe a little bit tied up into a situation that you've already been in due to the loyalty of this hound. You've already been dealing with this situation, right? So it's not anything new for you. Yes, it may be taxing, or it might be a little bit, how's the word? What do I want to say? That maybe never ending, or sort of, you know, it's bringing about the same frustrations that you've been dealing with within the situation for a while. But I want to say this: you've been dealing with this situation, and the fact that you are staying, or the fact that you are holding on and trying to create change within it, or make it better, or bring it to its highest good, really is a noble cause. And that's part of this hound too, is there is a nobility here. There is a loyalty and a beauty to this card that we all have within us, that sometimes we give our loyalty to situations that may seem fruitless or don't necessarily give back, but that's okay. And I just want to express that to those that might feel like they're stuck, or I don't want anybody to fear that you're stuck. You're not stuck. You're just sort of, to me, I get this like this vision or this thing in my mind's eye of like tripping over this rope, like yet again. Like, and you're like, ah, shit, I've done this before. But I feel like part of the reason why you're doing this is because there's this deep love underneath all of it that outweighs maybe the frustration of the situation. Does that make sense? So if the situation ties you in knots, but bump, no pun intended, don't worry, it's okay. The reason why you're trying to do this is from a place of loyalty or nobility, of being noble and doing the right thing. Animals can be great teachers of compassion and unconditional love. And so I feel like that's what this hound is about too, is sort of where are we placing our unconditional love? Oh, wow. Another new card for the end of the week. Okay, so let me move this up here. I'm digging this. This is our end of the week card. This is the cradle. Michaela, are you watching? Good morning, Tammy. Michaela, are you watching? I'm giving Michaela a hard time. She's one of our viewers, and a long time ago I thought I saw pregnancy in her cards, and so I tease her all the time because she so doesn't want a baby. But this cradle to me definitely speaks to the idea of taking care of ourselves by week's end, regardless of which situation we've chosen. If we've tethered ourselves to something that is totally giving back to us and that is giving us the loyalty that we're giving to it in return, or if we've also made the conscious decision to stay in a situation where we feel obligation due to love, and we are aware that we might be staying in something that's not necessarily giving us back, but we are willing to sort of make that, not that sacrifice, but to choose the higher, more noble part of ourselves to move forward into. Does that make sense? By week's end, this cradle feels to me like we will be holding ourselves in a safe space and rocking ourselves, right? Like taking care of ourselves. The focus will be back on ourselves, even if during the midweek we have to shift the focus away to a situation that maybe isn't serving us. And those of us that are tethering ourselves to a positive situation or something that we're like, yes, I love this is treating me well, this is what I want, and we're really tying ourselves to it, by week's end we are able to sort of rest, and the work that we've done throughout the week has allowed us to sort of I don't know, like just kind of relax and baby ourselves a little bit, and care for not only ourselves, but maybe even that situation. This care for the situation, I have to say, this is what I'm hearing, is that this goes for both choices within the rope. Okay? So if we make the decision to stay in a situation where we feel obligation, or it may not be necessarily, it might cause us a little bit of frustration or aggravation because it's familial based, or a partner, or something where maybe a good friend that's maybe not really connecting with us in the way that they normally do, or that sort of a thing. It's okay. This cradle to me says that this is about giving love and support to that situation no matter what, whether it's a positive or a negative. And it is very much a nurturing energy, not only for the situation or the people that are in our lives and are around us, but also for ourselves. So I like this. It's also got a very quiet energy to me as I'm moving, as I'm looking at it. I'm hearing the word quiet, peaceful, just restful. So I feel like this is us sort of babying ourselves or taking ourselves into the week's end with love and affection, and cradling ourselves and cradling those around us, whether, how do I want to say this? I don't want to say whether they deserve it or not, but that's kind of what I'm thinking, because some of you might be, tripping over this rope versus actually consciously tethering yourself. I do believe that, I want to say this hound, whatever decision we make this week, is a conscious decision. We need to go about making it based on all of the facts, and we get to choose. Those of us that choose the situation that maybe isn't, has been giving us not trouble, but maybe hasn't always worked out, or like I'm looking at this like from a familial space, right? We're gonna be able to find, like, put ourselves aside in a way and be able to be okay with the decision that we've made, and then be able to offer that situation love and attention and a little bit of babying in a way to sort of ease it up. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more to this. I also have the Strange Girls affirmation deck. It's going to be a lovely week ahead, I think. I mean, it's about sort of trusting our intuition, trusting ourselves with that Hound card, then deciding what do we want to tie ourselves to midweek. Where are we giving our attention? Where are we tethering ourselves or nodding ourselves into? What are we weaving ourselves to? By week's end, regardless of the situation that we've knotted ourselves to or tied ourselves to, we're going to give it love, attention, and care, including ourselves, right? There's a nobility and a loyalty and a beauty that's coming from this Hound card, I feel like, that our intentions, regardless, are good, right? They are that sort of unconditional love that you see from a pet, right? Or from a dog that you can get. We're going to have that this week. And I think that that's a powerful, powerful energy to work with. Okay? So, when we utilize that and we come from that place, regardless of the situation that we're dealing with, I even think that those of us with the, oh, I'm getting chills all down my left side. Those that with the rope, where the rope feels like it might be a situation that frustrates us a little bit, I really think that the cradle opens that situation up a little bit. Because there's just nothing but love in that cradle for ourselves and maybe for the situation, even if the situation is sort of, a little bit frustrating. That love kind of loosens that rope a little bit, or allows us a different perspective within the situation. Does that make sense? So a healing occurs on some level this week for those of you that are actually doing this with a situation that you feel, to me, like I'm hearing this thing like, no, this is going to sound crazy, but to me, I feel like that rope is, some of you are going to be like, no, I love this person. I need to stay. I need to make sure that they're going to be okay. I need to make this relationship right. I need to, I really want to put every, opportunity or chance into this. And as you do that, by week's end, you will be appreciating it and sort of taking care of it from that cradle space, regardless of what the other person or the other, component is to the situation that is the rope. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, you guys. It makes sense to me, but I'm in my own head and can hear the voices. I don't know that you guys can. So let's see what the Strange Girls affirmation deck has to say for this week. Oh, get it. Spin confidence like cobwebs over your life and let no one brush them away. So I love this. This deck is badass. I just love how they wrote these things. When I think of the cobwebs, it makes me think of this rope, like spin confidence. This is like the Hound energy, right? This loyalty, this nobility, this knowing, this unconditional love, this compassion that is in this Hound, this ability to move quickly through situations if need be. It's like that's that confidence, right? And we spin that confidence like cobwebs over our life and let no one brush them away. And that is the rope, babe. Like that, to me, feels like the rope energy. Let me pull this down here. I just wish these were different sizes. It'd be great if there was a small version of this so that you can look at all three cards. So, and do not let anyone brush them away. And that would be the cradle energy. That would be the energy of sort of, nurturing it, loving it, rocking it to sleep, taking good care of it, and that taking good care of not only the situation or the people that we love, even if they don't necessarily love us back in return in the way that we would prefer, but also ourselves, right? And having that confidence in ourselves, and let that sort of spread out into our world, into our week, like cobwebs, just getting sticky all over everything, and let it like sort of be there, so much so that it cannot be brushed away, right? It cannot be denied. It cannot be, uh, acknowledged or not, like people, maybe these rope situations that are a little bit frustrating, they're gonna have to look at you in a different light and go like, oh shit, you know what? Because you're in that cradle space of taking care of them, even though maybe they haven't treated you as well as they should have or could have. They're gonna have to acknowledge this week that confidence and that beauty within you. Now I'm going for a grounding stone to see what stone we get for this week. Interesting with this rope in the center. The stone is freedom. And I really think that the reason why this freedom stone comes up now, for those of you that are new, the grounding stone is a stone that we want to think about during the day today and an energy. This is for the week though. So this is like sort of the overall for the week. This is about getting free for ourselves. And I'm going to say this rope, it's funny that, I always put the grounding stone in front of in the center, and it's definitely connected to this rope. This is about freedom from, how do I want to say this? When I'm talking about the hound making the choice and sometimes tethering ourselves to situations that are either beneficial or non-beneficial to us, right? Or maybe old situations that seem familiar that causes frustration. The cradle is like the freedom that we gain this week. All of these decisions, the conscious decision of what we choose to like give our attention to and what we choose to move towards and sort of tie ourselves to, right, is going to offer us freedom either direction that we go, right? If we're tethering ourselves to something that's very positive that we want, or we're tethering ourselves to something that we feel that we can't abandon out of obligation, we're still going to gain some semblance and understanding of freedom from it all by the week's end. This is the theme of the week. It's about, I honestly think that this is about finding freedom from our own perceptions of how we see and view and operate ourselves within a situation, either positively or negatively, because I feel like the energy of this hound is based in that sort of unconditional love. So as we bring that to the situation, regardless of what the situation is, it's going to allow us to get to this place of cradle, which is about sort of care and taking care of oneself. This is the freedom that we give to ourselves, right? We're going to be able to see some of these rope situations, the ones that we might feel tied to that we don't necessarily, that maybe kind of cause us a little aggravation or whatever. We're going to change and shift our view of ourselves within those situations, and we're going to gain that freedom this week. We're going to spin that confidence like cobwebs all over our life, even the parts that we don't necessarily, that don't necessarily always put a smile on our face, and we're going to do it in such a way that no one can brush them away. That's the freedom that we get this week, okay? I hope that makes sense. What time is it? It's 9:05. I might be able to make it to church. So that is your forecast, you guys. I hope that makes sense. Please tune in tomorrow for tomorrow's forecast, because we will build upon it each day, and we'll see if the energy stays the same, or if maybe we've shifted something along the way. Maybe we've moved past the rope card. Who knows? Maybe the rope card will show up all week long. I have no idea. We're going to see though. But this is going to be a week about like sort of freeing ourselves or our perceptions of how we are in a given situation. And in doing so, we get the freedom, we get the gift. Okay? So I just want you guys to be aware of that. Okay? Thank you for joining me by the fire today. By my faux fire. It was lovely having you. I'm sorry I didn't have s'mores ready and available. But you guys have a good week. And I will see you guys tomorrow in the morning. Alright? Bye. Thank you for tuning in.